Prescribing in acute and emergency cases like diarrhea, fever, cholera, etc. was always a problem for homeopaths, especially beginners. A renowned Indian homeopath, Dr. Praful Vijayakar, solved this problem by writing his wonderful book Theory of Acutes. In this book, he presents and explains a scientific, principle-based and successful protocol of acute prescribing. According to this theory, there are always three major changes in acute diseases which must be considered in prescribing. Number 1. Change in the activity of the patient. Number 2. Change in the thirst of the patient. Number 3. Change in the thermal state of the patient. Activity increased or decreased. Activity or being active is one of the basics of life. So any change in the activity of the patient should be considered a fundamental change in the life. Thirst increased or decreased. No one can live without water. Water is also one of the essentials of life. During an acute illness, any change in the water intake of the patient is also one of the very important changes in the organism. Change in the thermal state of the patient. Temperature of the body is also one of the basics of life. If there is a change in the tolerance of heat or cold, it is also one of the basic changes in the organism. Considering this activity thermal thirst axis in acute prescribing helps us in two ways. Number 1. In this way, we apply the medicine on the very basic and fundamental changes in the organism, so the cure is indefinite. Number 2. Activity, thermal and thirst axis helps us in very speedy prescribing. Each of these steps eliminates a large number of remedies. At the third step, we have very limited number of remedies from which we can easily prescribe the best suitable one. How to apply this theory in practice? A free application of the theory of acute is available on Play Store. Let's see how easily and quickly we can choose the best suitable remedy in any acute illness. Install the Theory of Acute application from Play Store. When installation is complete, you will see its user manual. If you have gone through the book and understood the theory very well, you can skip this step. Next, you will see three options: activity decreased, activity increased, or no change in the activity. If the patient is dull or less active than previous healthy state, you will select the activity decreased option. And if the patient is anxious or restless, you will select the activity increased option. For instance, your patient is restless and you select activity increased. Here again you will have three options: whether the patient is physically restless or mentally anxious or loquacious or talkative. For example, your patient is mentally anxious, so you select this option. Next, you have to choose whether your patient is thirstless or thirsty. If your patient is chilly, feeling more cold than usual, you will select chilly, and if thirstless, you will select this option. Your patient activity is increased, mental state is anxious, he is chilly and thirstless. Now you have only three remedies from which you have to select one. Here, by pressing on the remedy name, you can study detail of each remedy one by one and select the best suitable remedy in just matter of a few minutes.